we've always done it this way, so maybe we should change. Again, Dr. I've forgotten her name. Dr. Shah, she said, just because it's new doesn't mean to say it's good. So you've got to think about things both ways. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Are you familiar with that phrase over here? That's an English phrase. So, and then this bit that you can't see, it says, don't be too fluffy about it. Get in there and be honest. Have good, open, professional debate about it. So, if you, who can I pick on? I'm going to pick on you. Sorry, I'm going to pick on you. And put yourself in the place, you're a teacher again now. You're back in the classroom and you're a teacher. What are you good at?
Me personally or hypothetically? Classroom management. A subject.
What were you good at as a teacher?
What was I good at? Classroom management. That's one of the positive.
Right. So, classroom management, so that includes behaviour. That's good, nothing wrong with that, admirable in fact. But what the group should then follow up with is why and how. Ask those questions, because this person has got a lot of expertise to share. If he thinks he's good at classroom management, then he will be, because teachers don't say they're good at things that they're not good at. Other professions do, but teachers very rarely do. So I'd use that example to demonstrate it's the process. Talk about it and so much will come up. Okay, I've talked too long. What I want you to do now is exactly that. You've got post-it notes on your table. I want you to look at these questions. Remember what I said. What are you good at? You can, if you are all from the same school, you can do this for real. If you're not, you can do it, which will help you to take it back into your workplace. Look at what you're good at. Look at what your school or you, whichever you want to, whichever way you want to play, it doesn't matter. What do you do that you don't want to do, or what do we do that we don't want to do, and what don't we do that we want to do? Okay, we've got no, I want you to collate them into the three areas: curriculum, environment, and people. Okay?
More or less, we are into the strategic analysis before we set the targets for us. We are onto the mistakes what we are lacking in the school, so that we can improve that. But at the same time, there are lots of opportunities. Although there are the things they are not moving wrong in the school, but still there is opportunity for the improvement. So what about that external analysis to look for the better opportunities? Like, student may not be telling me, sir, there is a new technology, you must get. Not so good. How we would know that? Like.
So what you're saying is that there's an area that you might be. Okay, right. You've just done in 20 minutes what it took us probably about 3 hours in your school. Now then, the next stage is to share one or two ideas. Let me just work out the timings. We'll spend 5 minutes sharing, and then I'll have time to take you on to what would be the next stages, okay? So you've got a spokesperson on your table. So we've got 8 tables, 3, 4, 5, 7 tables. So just over a minute to just give me a little bit of feedback about the process. Now, if you were doing this in school for the exercise, you'd be feeding back on what you were good at, not so good at, blah, 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 blah. But I just would like 1 minute on the process as you found it. And we won't start with you, we'll start with this table, please.
All right. What I need to say here is that most of the people who are working in the capacity of branch heads felt that we already have exposure to this methodology. We've done it, we've practiced it. You know, like we do have a SWOT analysis each year when we design our yearly development plans, long-term and short-term. We do take teachers in confidence. We bring in models to highlight and ascertain our areas for development and our strengths, and accordingly we design our staff development and branch development plans. So then we moved on to kind of looking at BSS as a whole, as a company, and we discussed our strengths in the area of curriculum, and we moved on to the people's area, and so that's what we discussed in the last 10 minutes.
Thank you. So you think that, obviously, as you do it, you think the process is a good one, and it involves everybody in school, and it gives you the opportunity to build year on year, and it opens up all kinds of possibilities for creativity and new initiatives. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. You'll have to come forward. It won't reach up there.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. I was a bit late, but I hope I got the task right. My understanding is that you were asking for a SWOT analysis, the tasks about the strengths and the weaknesses of the school, and how the schools go about it. It was a very good combination of schools here, because I'm from overseas, and then there were some schools, Beaconhouse schools from Faisalabad. I think every school contributed to this discussion, and we looked at some strengths of the different schools, weaknesses of the different schools, things which schools were forced to do, and things which they wanted to do but they couldn't do because of certain limitations in terms of resources, facilities, and all that. I think it's a very productive process, and I believe that each school must go through this process before the start of each academic year, where they set their goals, they set their targets, they set their key performance indicators, they should have an action plan, and they should work very objectively towards those goals. Yeah, but I have a list of them. I'm not going to take more time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we'll go on to this group.
We have Ms. Saira Rizvi to speak on our behalf.
Do I have to share? This is again, I would my colleagues were saying, we all year on annual basis we do the SWOT analysis, and on the basis of previous year's analysis we built upon our next school development plan, and we keep in mind all the weaknesses, or I would say the areas on which we have to work upon, and then according to that we built we think of other strategies and the plans which we have to follow. So like if you want an example, like if we want to develop the interpersonal skills of the teachers, so we plan like we would have a session discussing how to improve the interpersonal skills and how to talk to parents, how to pacify them, and especially as being in the admin, we have to be the role models, so that this is how the teachers will reflect upon. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
As far as I understood this, if you're referring to the process, you are saying that the propositions that you send forward for staff meetings or for any other thing, what do we think about that process?
No, the process of you sharing that experience just now.
Yeah, when we share that experience, then we've got some summarized views of it, and there were some conflicting ideas as well. If I would like to answer these questions, it would be that the things that we are good at the secondary level would be curriculum moreover, and the problems that we are facing are majorly in the environment. Things that we do that we don't want to would basically be a lot of excessive documentation that teachers do, and we're not interested in doing that. And the second thing would be to fill in for other teachers whenever there's a relief period. These are very specific examples of things that we do that we don't want to. And finally, things that we don't do that we would want to, one would be the remedial classes. If we think that some students really need to come in for some extra classes, we could use Saturdays for that, which we don't really do, out of a voluntary basis as well. And even if we feel that there is a need, we just try to squeeze them during the week or break. We won't come in for an extra day. Although we should, me being a person, we being a table, we would want to do that. And one more thing would be physical education, which is hardly being promoted. A lot of students are dull early in the morning. If we could just have one jogging session or some kind of thing whereby they get charged up early in the morning, something of the sort. Somebody here said yoga, but I'm not. Yeah, something like that.
Thank you. Thank you. Excellent. Now, those were some very good. Excuse me. Those were some very good specifics, and from that, what I would take away, if I was a principal at your school, is that what I've got on my hands isn't just a school issue. It's an issue at a much higher level. You're talking about hours that people are working and the expectations that they'll give their time voluntary. So this is good, because I wouldn't know that as a principal necessarily. Okay, who's going to sum up real quick here?
Okay, I'll keep it very quick. Basically, all my colleagues on this table were extremely familiar with the format that you presented, although in a different way, and are very comfortable with it. But something that I actually took from this, Tina, as I'm sure the other guys here did as well, the way you got people to buy into this. Now, a SWOT analysis can actually be a very, bureaucratic, administratively heavy piece of paperwork that can inevitably sit on someone's desk for a year and a day. But you actually took this and made it very personable in your school, and you seemed to get all stakeholders involved through very different terminology. So that's, as regards to the process, that's what I'd take away from this. Well done.
Thank you. Well, as I said in the beginning, it was a very practical example of tackling a very big problem. Now, we're really running out of time. I don't want to keep you over time. So I've missed a couple of things out. I'm going to go on to leading and managing the formulation of the plan. What we've just done and what you're doing, your SWOT analysis, is invaluable, absolutely invaluable. But it isn't going to change anything in the class, school,